My name is Lecturer Clergy Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome speaking here in Nairobi National Government, Embakasi East Constituency, Embakasi Miango Ward. So this afternoon, actually, I want to share with you the Word of God in relation to religious political philosophy context. Because I'm also a preacher, political preacher, looking forward to be United States of Kenya Republic President, precise date, September 13, 2027, next general election. So I'm looking forward to be Kenya president, in short, which of course, with God all things are possible in Luke 1, chapter 1, verse 37. And I'm also going to have also other leaders of Tumaini Liberation Party of the next government, I being the president. We have Tumaini Liberation Party government around the corner to be a ruling table government. And my vice president is none other than Honorable Nixon Kukubo, retired Kenya Brigadier of Kenya Defense Forces Army, was also on ballot paper 2007, and also he was supposed to be also, in last general election 2022, he was supposed to be also president. I was deputizing him as the vice president, but now he has given me an okay, I, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome, to be the president in the next coming election of 2027. We are also going to have also a power of Prime Minister in the next government, because I'm just going to be a ceremonial president myself, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome. And our power of Prime Minister in the next government is none other than the United States of America, retired president who has ruled America for close to 10 years, the son of Kenya here, Dr. His Excellency Barack Hussein Obama. He's going to be in charge of all government ministries, affairs, and also state agencies. I'm looking also forward to have two first ladies in the next government as my first ladies, two of them, because the Bible allows also polygamy, and Genesis chapter 4 verse 19, and also 2 Chronicles chapter 24 verse 1 to 4. Prophet Samuel chose two ladies, wives to King Joash, to be effective and efficient, and to build even more churches or temples in the land of Israel that time. So those are first ladies of mine, is none other. I've signed on online. Then also those two, among also other concubines who are my sons and daughters. But the first two ladies, well, first ladies, is the Kenya Republic youngest daughter. So His Excellency, Dr. Ruto, youngest daughter, Honorable Charlene Ruto, with my first lady, in the next government of 2027 election, and also Supreme People's Power President, youngest daughter, Honorable Imkat Winnie Raila Amolo Odinga. So today, I just want to talk a bit of, incoming, Saba Day, kind of another deadly kind of, incoming protest after the recent one was claimed so many lives of human beings here. And it has actually now recurred again this year, last Wednesday, that is actually on June 25th. We have lost so many, youths, particularly they call themselves Generation Z, Gen Z, because of that kind of, protest, which has claimed so many lives. So what is this called Saba again coming in Kenya Republic? Next Monday, July 7th, 2025. Saba Day is remembered in Kenya as one of the days which we have lost so many human beings in a kind of a protest, which was actually there during again another oppressive and cruel government of 1990 of Kenya Republic. That was KANU, Kenya African National Union Party of the late President Moi. So all Kenyans, youth and adults, have staged a protest that day on Saturday or Sabbath, July 7th, 1990, to demand the rights and the right of protection of life, which was also likened to this government of United Democratic Alliance Party of our President Dr. William Samoei Ruto, That the government also used to abduct human beings, killing them, and so many have disappeared unnecessarily, with a lot of gruesome murders, rapists, and sodomizing human beings. So people staged actually a kind of a protest on 7th July 1990 on Saturday. And people took to the streets countrywide, all 47 county government, 290 constituencies, and 1,450 wards assembly equal to demand their rights. The politician of that time who have initiated that kind of a move was one of them was called Honorable Kenneth Matiba the late Kikuyu, Honorable Charles Rubia Kikuyu, among others also, okay, other politicians like also the late President Kibaki, and also others like also the late other Kwegu More. So barely 2 days before the protest, we are told Honorable Kenneth Matiba and Honorable Charles Rubia were arrested before the day of protest on July 7th, 1990. Again, what happened in 1991 in Kenya, transitional kind of multipartyism, democracy also was actually there. I was one of them, also myself, Bishop Kenya Michael Loltome. I was for the Kenya Secretary General of, for the Kenya, of the late Dr. Odinga Oginga party called Simba Party. So in 1991, I remember very well, it was a kind of a transitional, kind of a multipartyism political system of governance we are looking for. And we managed actually to scrap clause A2, all right, to allow multipartyism now of, many parties, because the country was ruled by one single party called KANU, or Kenya Africa Union, for 26 years. And it was a very single unitary government, which was actually so terrible, kind of a rule, military dictatorship, which has made that president, the late Dr. Arap Moi in politics, we used to refer him as Doctor of Philosophy. He has managed to rule Kenyans in an iron fist for 24 years as a president and 11 years as vice president. So he was in those kind of a high-profile kind of position of authority for 35 years. So we managed actually to remove him actually later on, 2002, after allowing, multipartyism to go on. And in 1992, there was also a lot of bloodshed actually. Likewise, like post-election violence of 2007, recurring again that time. So what is now happening, we are told again there will be a Saba day on next Monday, which of course we will expect all Kenyan youths and also adults equally to participate probably, in the next Monday, July 7th, 2025. But the other one actually has happened on Saturday, Sabbath day of worship. That was in July 7th, 1990. But this one now is happening on Monday, first day of the week, on July 7, 2025. So I just want to tell Kenyans, Apostle Paul, when he was actually imprisoned in Roman around, country, around AD 60 and 62, he has encouraged all believers in the city of Ephesus, or in the modern kind of a day Turkey country, to think themselves in a whole new way, not to be swayed to be involved in idol worship or illicit sex or foolish philosophies. Alright, he wanted them to think themselves as people who are God-believing human beings with a radically new identity in, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 12 to 13. He also wants them to be very careful because those days are very evil. He was also under imprisonment because of the Roman and Emperor Nero kind of a government, which of course later on they have executed him in an island of Patmos, just because of doing what is just type of justice to the human beings living in Rome by then. So if you read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 and 16, he also told people of Turkey, or that Ephesus, to be very careful when how they live, not as unwise but wise human beings. And in actually Ephesians chapter 5 verses 15 and 16, making the most of every opportunity because the days of that time are evil, and including in Kenya today, and even the days to come, that is around the corner, July 7, 2025. We are going to lose a lot of human beings again, God forbid, in 47 county government and 290 constituencies and 1,450 wards assemblies. We are demanding their rights. So I, Bishop Kenya Loltome, today, I just want to remind you that actually I want Kenyans for us to be very careful with the former the same political monkeys, leaders of different parties, which are now coming back again to demand actually sacrifices of Kenyans to die again. And they have been actually on leadership since long time ago, 1997, some of them, and even 1990, some of them, like Kalonzo Musyoka and others. So I want Kenyans to watch carefully United Democratic Alliance Party leaders, Jubilee Party, Wiper Party, and NAC Party, among others, etc. Because actually they are going to stage a kind of a, they are planning to stage a kind of a post-election violence prototype of 2007. What happened as a result of post-election violence of 2007? We are told the post-election violence of 2007 had claimed 100,000 innocent people's lives of all classes, that is infants, youths, and adults, in all, 47 county government, 290 constituencies, and 1,450 wards assembly today. And many people are killed and crippled and maimed permanently, with untold people's property destroyed, in that time, which actually is attempting again to recur in the next general election, and has started, which precisely that will be on September 13, 2027 election, the day the president took an oath of office. The same one now is Honorable, William Samuel Ruto. If he's actually honest enough and frank enough and faithful, his death is supposed to expire on September 13, 2027 elections. The same political leaders are back again, like the former Deputy President, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, former Internal Security Minister, Honorable Fred Matiang'i, Honorable Martha Karua, and others, to harm Kenyans again. On June 25th, 2024, and equally last Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, nearly wiped out Kenya youths, particularly from ethnic background of Ngema, background kind of tribes, Ngikuyu, Embo, Meru, and Akembas, among other few others from other Bantus. They are nearly to be wiped completely out of the map of Kenya, because they have stormed all their county governments and looted them, and the government actually took steps to kill them, using a kind of a very sophisticated kind of way of life of killing human beings. They have even used what you call elephant electric wire in Nairobi near the parliament. And so some of them are also, suffocated in, when they not manage to go to parliament to kill members of parliament. The youth are reversed and in Nairobi national government and other big cities, and they ended up again looting supermarkets, which of course they have been engulfed or trapped inside them. And some of them went even to the, sewages, kind of, sewage lines, to be connected to the riverbank, Nairobi, and ending up in, Indian Ocean waters. So we have lost so many human beings last Wednesday, on 25th, 2025, in mysterious ways. Some of them have just committed kind of an odd kind of suicidal kind of an unexpected life, death, by thinking that they are looting supermarkets and retail shops and they are trapped there. So it is not the police who have killed them. They have actually, killed in such kind of mysterious ways, and we don't know who actually have initiated that kind of suffocation of killing human beings. And most of those youths also have been actually intoxicated enough by those politicians. Particularly those team which has been following, the former Vice President Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka team. There are so many of them affected, they are killed because they've been going with the flower rights, kind of dead people's kind of flowers to the parliament, and they end up losing their lives. So in that case, they entered the sewages and treated waters pipelines and drawn, which are connected to the riverbank here in Nairobi, which is heading to Indian Ocean worldwide waters. So we have lost so many, yachts. Other are reported also by the eyewitnesses, particularly Kikuyu tribe, Embu Meru tribe, and also Akambo tribe in Gema, were electrocuted by 11th and Rhino's live electric wire around the parliament building and other places. So especially those agencies, we are told have been led by the former vice president, who was also involved in 2007 elections, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and other politicians. So we have lost so many youths. Last Wednesday, Gen Z protests or demonstrations countrywide and particularly in Nairobi National Government. So that kind of, post-election violence of 2007 demonstration have started in that manner and claimed hundreds and thousands of innocent people's lives in Kenya, particularly Bantu ethnic background youth and adults. They have been killed in all those for 7 county government, 290 constituencies and 1,450 assemblies. Because they have been the one who have been actually initiated that kind of, violence by the leaders I've mentioned. And that, post-election violence of 7 have erupted by a kind of a steaming up, kind of a mixture of politician ill motives of self-seeking possession of authority. And so, through rigging illegal means, by using illegal means of 2007 elections, starting from 1969 to 2007, that election, we are seeing that the Gema kind of political, leaders are so angry for power, and they are being counterfeited, by, the warlords, Kalenjin, Maasai, Turkana, and Samburu subtribe background, which are commonly referred as Kamatusa tribes, plus another emerging Naloticative group called Force, another force also called the Luo tribe of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, among that first force of Kamatusa. So against actually or versus Bantu ethnic background tribes, particularly in Gema. So these people have been fighting terribly 2007 elections, and we are told in Gema tribes are the losers. In all county government, 47 county government, 290 constituencies, and 1,450 assemblies, we have lost so many Gemas, youths, and adults, and infants, and properties destroyed. So we need Kenyan to watch on this, because we have also another third force called Kushaitik, which are less dangerous and are less also affected in post-election violence of 2007 and every other election, because they are minority. We only have 3 blocks of politics wings in Kenya. That is actually warlords, Kamatusa, Luo ethnic group, Nilotic warlords, and then Bantu, Ngema, and then Kushaitik. So the cause of that election violence started throughout the country of 2007 by widespread perceptions that the voting counting was rigged in favor of Ngema President, the late Mwai Kibaki, Honorable. Meaning then, the negative effect of that post-election violence of 2007 was reported to have be actually 76% of the older persons and infants were being affected by death. We have lost close to 76% of Bantus, particularly ethnic group human beings, of old age and infants, because the others have been running away. And we are told also 69 persons have experienced what we call emotional distress, which has made them mentally retarded or mentally affected, mentally disorders problems, or mentally problem permanently. in all for 7 county government, 290 constituencies, and 1,450 wards assemblies. That's why we have so many chokoras here in Nairobi, old and young people, and other big cities, and others also, who are affected by those post-election violence. We are also told, in additionally, 12% of rich and poor people lost their properties, and 7% the workers lost their jobs, and their livelihoods have been affected. So again, Honorable Mwai Kibaki, we are told, actually continue rigging election for another time. Again, apart from 2007, until he left after 10 years using the state machinery. What happened in 2007 election, early result published by the Kenya media houses gave Honorable Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga a narrow lead of 1,691,679 votes. I repeat it again. Raila was leading that election of 2007 by 1,691,679 vote cast all over the country, which of course it was actually 69 country to 10 constituencies. So against Honorable Mwai Kibaki, who garnered 1,222,725 votes. I repeat it again. Against Honorable the late Mwai Kibaki, who garnered 1,222,725 votes in 69 of the country to 10 constituencies of that time, which voted in that election. Therefore, it was clear that that election was, rigged in favor of Kibaki by Ngema security forces, particularly. There were many in the security forces of that time, I don't know now. So that's why people lost a lot of lives, because of an unjustifiable ballot box kind of result outcome. So Raila could have been the president, for honestly speaking, by all eyewitnesses and by all, media houses of Kenya Republic, reporters, journalists from all media houses of 2007 election, which was conducted that time, December 27, 2007. So the state security forces, also reliable sources, said that Honorable the late President Mwai Kibaki was offered that sympathy for win because he was involved in a fatal accident barely 2 weeks prior to that general elections. So President Moi saw it was fit for him to be there. But remember, all throughout his 10 years tenure term, we have been ruled by his vice president, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. That election was actually just, the late president was just a statue in office. He was constantly sick throughout for 10 years. So Kalonzo Musyoka was indirectly the president, and it was a very terrible government. Because during that 10 years of Democratic Party leadership, ruling that terrible government of 2002 to 2012, the pastoral elite class professionals have been assassinated in an open broad daylight by Kalonzo Musyoka president government, then indirectly, because the other one was sick throughout. Why am I saying so? A classic example was tragic accident of unserviced, ill-fated, police service helicopter, which crashed and actually killed 9 people, including even the county provincial county commissioner of Eastern Province and one priest highly trained of Anglican Church Marsabit, Honorable Bishop, the late Andrew Adano Tuye, whose wife is called Kabale Tuye, and also Honorable Professional Commissioner, the late Ismail Chalanga, was also among the casualties who have died that time, among 9 others. There are about 9 who perished in that helicopter ill-fated, plane. So another one included again, one bishop again of Anglican Church, highly trained again, was crushed again on April 10, 2006 by Kenya Force, ill-fated, have been operating 1 to 2, carrying high-profile senior public servants. Okay, crash again in Marsabit and killing 14 people, including highly again Oromo Borana Anglican Church priest Bishop William Wako, whose wife is Miss Naomi J. Wako. Among other 14 people perished because of unserviced kind of planes. That one is an Kenya Force plane. Again, due to that kind of negligence government, we have lost again on 15/205, Bishop Michael Loltome and myself, Songa youths, and they are buried in the church to bar people or to instill fear people to leave the church, and the African Land Church Songa Sako Constituency up to today. From actually May 15, 2005 up to today, we have those people lying inside the church compound. The church close to the door compound to instill fear so that we cannot pray God. Samburu is living in Marsabit Sako Constituency up to now. We are just praying outside the compound. The government is refusing to exhume and compensate, human beings there, us. And that's why I've actually decided to launch a kind of a complaint to remove the corpses of dead people there, because their blood is crying from the ground in Genesis 4:10, which the government of Ruto now, His Excellency Ruto, has agreed to compensate and to exhume them so that they can be buried in a dignified manner. Together with those priests also, 3 of them of Anglican Church Town, Marsabit, Sako Constituency. Stephen Houghton, British, which have reported this week to the British government to come and help us to exhume and take him to, Britain, Canterbury of Anglican Church, because they are there in Anglican Church of Kenya compound. Bishop Anandru Tuye died mysterious death. Bishop William Wako died mysterious death. Bishop Stephen Houghton of Britain died, all of them mysterious death. They need to be compensated for their blood and buried. They should be buried in their countries and in their own compounds. That's what I've told even the British. This week, I've written to them. I went to the office, to Capitol Hill. I gave even a hard copy to a soldier called Saba, which is actually, they call it G4S soldier. Is the one who have actually taken to the British High Commission in charge person, because that is the compound of Britain in Kenya. It's a country within Kenya of British High Commission. So they are supposed to compensate them and also to pay me for the work I've done. The Kenya government, together with even the British and also America. I've written to the America also, embassy, to tell the president, His Excellency Dr. Trump, that we have so many also priests of America, of Anglican African Land Church, were affected. They are fed, we don't know. Their vehicles were grounded in stations, and the station they have been living, they have been stoned, and they are not there. So probably even they themselves are killed. So I talked to British, to the American embassy, and they told me they are now on the ground to investigate from the local authorities what had happened to the American, because the embassy is here to represent America here, and also British embassy is here to represent Britain here. And also I also informed South Africa. We have even some South Africa British families which we don't know where they are. I've been translating, Rendile Bible, New Testament, Nick Sonable family, and Reni. We don't know where they are. And South African British missionaries, of course, like Sam's Constituency. The others are Sako Constituencies and others of Marsabit County. So I have worked that far, and also the Kenya government have agreed to pay for theirs, but the other one we don't know. So what we want to say here, we need to be very careful in that case. All right, we need to be so careful. And also I thank the President President Ruto government. They have agreed to exhume, those youths of Songa. And also they gave me, some station of ISC to be under my administration, because I also have agreed. And also, I thank also the deputy president, the president of this UDA government, because they are ready to actually to heed the God's voice, to exhume those priests and also bury them. Particularly, they have agreed, particularly the youth of Songa. It is here. All right. So I don't know whether they will agree now, the other one, but I hope they will. But I also, even the office of the deputy president have agreed. Here it is, the execution and compensation of those 8. And the president also have agreed. All right. You can see it here. All right. They have agreed to this 8 one. And those, choir members which are also, injured to be paid. I proposed actually 50 million each of them, the one who are killed, 8 of them, and then injured one 25 million each of them, and no objection so far. So I believe the Kenya government have honored, that kind of a voice. But the British and I'm waiting the British and America, what they are going to say, because I hope they will also agree to compensate those families of theirs, because the British government is also here to represent their people here. So these are the youths, the 8 of them. You can see them here. Mr. Lantare Delet, Jessica Delet, Lado, Jessica Lado. They're all university students. This one, and this one. This one is Mr. Delet, Daniel or Dan Lantare.